Tonight on America's Hope, we focus on politics as well as sports. It's the football season. We'll hear from a chaplain of the NFL team, the Los Angeles Chargers. But first, coming up tonight, we'll talk to a man who's a black conservative and why he believes there is a need for the black church to get more righted. America's Hope starts now. From the NTD Global Headquarters in New York, I'm Kelly Wright, and this is America's Hope. Good evening. Thank you for joining us this hour. We do hope that you're safe and well, taking care of yourself and your family because you matter. Tonight, we're going to discuss black conservatives and why they believe family values and God matters. We'll be discussing this with Dr. Eric Wallace, who will bring to light the Black Conservative Summit that will be taking place September 6th through the 8th. And then we'll also switch later on in the program to talk about the NFL. Are you ready for some football? You'll hear me say that a lot tonight as we discuss what it's like to be a chaplain for the NFL team, the Los Angeles Chargers. George Gregory will join us to discuss that. Let's get started. My first guest tonight is talking about something that's coming up very quickly. It's the Black Conservative Summit, September 6th through 8th, and he's here to talk to us about it. The entire goal is to unify the black Christian conservative community and actually serve as a catalyst for black conservatives in this country, equipping them to counteract what they call the progressive agenda. And they aim to restore family values, religious liberties, and social political freedoms based on the RISE principles. And we'll have our good guest explain to us what the RISE principles are. He is Dr. Eric Wallace. Dr. Wallace, thank you for joining us. I understand that this is going to be quite an event. What do the RISE principles stand for?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on, Kelly. I appreciate you and what you do. The RISE principles is a way to articulate black conservative ideology, well, black Christian conservative ideology. They're an acronym for responsible government, individual liberty and fidelity, strong family values, and economic empowerment. Our belief was that, a lot of times you'll hear Republicans or conservatives talk about limited government. Well, you can't start with limited government for people who are getting a government check, right? So you have to talk about what is the role of government. That's why we have responsible government. What is government supposed to do? And you can have a conversation about that. Otherwise, you get people turning off their lights and closing their doors and pulling down the shades, saying we don't want to talk about this because we started out with limited government. Even though that's included, we do talk about that. But what is the role of the federal government? And as you know, conservatives and progressive have total different ideas about the role that the federal government especially should play in our lives.
To say the least. We're talking about polar opposites. And so when you have this event that's going on, where will it be? It's from September 6th through the 8th, and you're focusing on the principles you just talked about, the RISE principles. And right. How will you, what will you do in this meeting and beyond?
Well, the Black Conservative Summit, the actual theme is Black America at a crossroads, cultural Marxism versus a biblical worldview. And one of the things that we do with, so the larger organization is called Freedom's Journal Institute for the Study of Faith and Public Policy. So we put on the Black Summit, to bring Black conservatives together, especially those who hold a biblical worldview. It's open to anybody who wants to come, any kind of conservative. But specifically, we're reaching out to Black Christian conservatives or Christian conservatives. Last year we had as many whites and Hispanics and Asians and it looked like heaven, actually. when you look at it. And we're not like Black liberals who say this is only for us. This is our space. Don't show up. No, this is a love fest, a family fest, if you will, of conservatives who love the Lord and have a biblical worldview. And so we feel like the lowest hanging fruit to help change our country is Black conservatives. It's the church. Most folks who go to church are conservative, socially conservative. they're just not voting that way. And so what we want to do is say, look, there are a lot more Black conservatives out here voting for their values than the mainstream media would like you to know. And so as we gather to network, to encourage one another, to engage, what other people are doing in various areas of the country, and then to help, maybe teach and educate. So we have folks from across the country. We have a few people from the Heritage Foundation coming to talk. Sebastian Gorka's wife, Katie Gorka, is coming to talk. She's got a new book that's out talking about next generation Marxism. Excellent book. I'm in the middle of reading it. Obviously, we've got Tim Scott, who's going to be our keynote speaker, Senator Tim Scott. So we've got people from across the country coming to the Chicagoland area, and of course, they just had the DNC here, and so
of course
that
yeah. I didn't want to interrupt you, but there's a lot going on. You brought up Chicago, and of course that was the area for the Democratic National Convention. I reported on that from Chicago and met many Democrat leaders, moderates as well as progressives, and even some Republicans who had arrived there and stated that they were Republicans for Kamala Harris. And of course, this is fresh off the heels of the RNC and that unfortunate situation where an attempted assassination was done on the former President of the United States, Donald Trump. But look, the conventions are in the past now, and now we're getting down to the rub of the green, as they say in golf. We're getting right there to the essence of what this campaign is all about. Two people who are polar opposites. We have Kamala Harris, the current vice president, and we have the former president. What do you think America is grappling with in terms of the division that we see politically in our country?
I think some people are grappling with, again, the role of government. What should it be? Because the view of so I have to do it this way, because we're a 501c3, so we don't. Yeah,
so you can't comment politically, but give me the tone and tenor of the people across the country.
Yeah, I think people want to talk about the direction, the economy. People are worried about the economy, and their dollar not being able to buy as much as they were able to before. They're concerned about people coming across the border. I think they're also concerned, people like me are concerned about the moral aspect of what's happening, and was kind of somewhat outraged at the number of pastors, ministers of the gospel who are supporting the far left agenda by supporting a particular party. So for us, we're trying to sound the alarm and say, look, if you're pro-life, why are you voting for people who are not? If you're pro-traditional family, why are you voting for people whose platform is at cross purposes with the will of God? If you say that you're for education, you want kids to be educated, why are we supporting the same people who have been empowered? So in Chicago, only 10% of the Black kids are reading at grade level. Why do we continue to put people in who are not doing the job or not doing the work? They won't allow school choice. And most Black folks want school choice. So we're kind of sounding the alarm about where people stand, know what they stand for and why they stand for it, and then decide who you're going to vote for.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this episode so far of America's Hope. If you'd like to see it in its entirety, just click on the link below. Thanks for watching.